When I got out of the Marines in 2005, I ended up in quite the predicament. I moved up to Sacramento to start a junior college. A bunch of stuff fell apart in the game planning, and I needed a place to live. I didn't have anywhere to go. And fortunately, I had started playing water polo, started swimming for this junior college, and we were out in the pool practicing one day, and a couple of my buddies had mentioned this guy, Corey, who was getting ready to head into the military. He was training up to head off to boot camp, and that was the reason why he was even swimming altogether, was just kind of getting in shape. But they mentioned that he also needed a roommate, needed a place to stay, and so we ended up linking up and became really great friends. It actually worked out in a phenomenal space. He's actually still in the military today, and he's a great friend of mine. But one of the things that I always wanted to do was go skydiving. I always wanted to get my skydiving license, and not just go jump, but I actually get my legit, you can go by yourself, go anytime you want, go skydiving. And I started pursuing it. I started looking into what would it take, what would I need to make that happen. And I went out and got my first tandem jump, that awkward one where you have somebody strapped to your back and you go jump out of the airplane, all the way to jumping with a couple people around you and they kind of showing you while you're falling, showing you how to free fall, and then to jump by yourself. And it was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. One of the best things ever. It gave you that feeling of just, there's what, it was just incredible. A great feeling. Well, fast forward almost 20 years later, and it turns out studies have shown that skydiving is an absolutely incredible thing for veterans doing, and anybody really, but for veterans, it's a great thing to kind of reset yourself mentally. And it turns out it's not just the jumping. It's not the jumping itself that does it. It's what your body does as a result of it. As a result of going skydiving, your body releases what's called oxytocin into your system, and it's this amazing, euphoric feeling, that euphoric high. If you think back to, well, think about your military days. Think about maybe a great friend, a family member. Think about when you had that bonding moment where you had a big group of friends together, or just maybe a great family member, a loved one, and you probably got that euphoric, that high feeling, and probably makes you feel good sitting back thinking about it right now. That euphoric high, that's oxytocin. And it's a naturally occurring chemical. It actually does some really great things. It actually reduces stress, reduces anxiety, it improves your overall mood. It just overall puts you in a much better positive state. And our goal is to get more of this naturally. Now, there's several things to consider. It's not the end all be all. This is not going to solve all the problems, everything that we have going on. But remember, we talked about this, and it's one stone at a time. That's our goal. We want to move one stone at a time. That's what we want to do. And this is going to be one of those stones. I personally think that this oxytocin, this euphoric high that you get, there's some deeper levels to this that we're going to get into. But in general, I think this is a huge one. And if you can do a couple of these little small things, get in a habit of this, it's going to do some great things for you. So remember, one stone at a time, and just consider this. From an evolutionary standpoint, oxytocin, it's actually really cool how our bodies have evolved for it. We're pack animals. If you think back thousands of years ago, we survived in a group. We actually had to stay in a group in order for mankind to survive. And so anytime we were out hunting, we'd be in a group. If we were back at the village, we had a group. We had a group staying back there to take care of the young. People were out hunting. People were out gathering. All of these things. Well, in order for us to want to go do that, our bodies evolved that every time we'd go do that, and we do one of those things that helped out the group, they would give us a little burst of oxytocin, a little blast of that feel-good, euphoric high of doing a great thing. Well, it's helped the group, and your body gives you this blast. Now, it's a really short blast. I think the half-life on it, I was reading, is about 3 minutes, so it's not a long-term thing. It doesn't last forever. It is a really good blast of feel-good moment. That's a great thing to get in the habit of. And anytime you help the group, you get that feeling. And so this can come from small things. They say that actually just giving a hug, like giving a loved one a hug for a long time, can actually do some really great things. Helping out another person. If you could help out somebody, whether you know them or not, that does some really good things socializing. Anytime you help out the group, now, while we're not out hunting and gathering, whenever you socialize and you just interact with other people, you start to get that boost of oxytocin. So just hanging out with a group of people, volunteering. Volunteering is a great thing to do just for everyone. It's a phenomenal thing. Volunteer is a great way to boost your oxytocin. And yes, skydiving. I don't know why it does it, how it does it, but I do know that studies are shown that after skydiving, you get a blast of oxytocin. And so I know that as veterans, sometimes we tend to get a little introverted, and we pull in, which actually does the opposite. Instead of going out helping the group, helping other people, socializing, we tend to tuck in, which does the opposite. That's the opposite of what we want to see happen. And that's going to be my challenge for you. My challenge for you right now is to, maybe go just hug a loved one a little bit tighter and socialize with a group, and not just go be present to another group. Actually go talk. Ask them questions. You don't have to necessarily tell them about you. In fact, I would encourage you not to. Leave all of your stuff and just leave it on the side. Not because it's not important. Leave it off and just ask them questions. Uncover what's going on in their day. How's their day? What's happening? What's good? What's bad? How are they doing? And just have a conversation with them. Go socialize. Do some volunteer work. If you don't want to do anything like hug a loved one, go socialize with a group of friends, sign up. Find some sort of volunteer work that drives you, something that motivates you, and go volunteer. Go feed the hungry, and really go volunteer to make somebody's day better. And all of this is going to boost your oxytocin levels and do some really great things. And if all of that scares you, if you're sitting back thinking, you know what, that seems kind of stupid, like hugging someone, or you don't want to go talk to anybody, go skydiving. Just sign up, go do it, go book it. And I promise you're going to have this crazy feeling. Sign up, go tandem jump, go sign up, I think a couple $100, go sign up, make it happen, and then do it again. And when you got that crazy, insane, feel good, like just going nuts moment where you're just screaming, hands up, screaming at the sky, feeling truly alive, call your buddies and tell them how amazing it was. Call your buddies, have a conversation, let them hear you laugh, let them hear you joke, tell them how wonderful it was, and then start that conversation. That's my challenge for you. Step into one of those things and conquer today.